Hi, I'm Dr. Jackie. I've been adjusting pets since 1976, and today my objective is to bring you a short video explaining what alternative pet care is, how it's performed, what we do, and when you might want to call for this type of care. I'd like to start with a short story. One afternoon, a patient's daughter calls me. She's beside herself. Her horse had stitches. While coming out of the anesthesia, her horse fell and hurt her back severely. She could barely stand. Her right rear leg was just a wreck. The vet's prescription or diagnosis was disc surgery or put her down. Her dad said to call Jackie. She calls me, and I went over there that evening after work, only to think this was like worse than what I thought it could ever be. I started from her head and went all the way to her tail or her toes, her hooves, feeling for jammed joints, unlocking them. I did this, and the next day I came back, and then the third day, she looked at me, Reba, the horse, gave me the stink eye, lifted up her leg, which told me there was a nervous system connection again. She had feeling, she felt the pain, and she had control of that leg. She's still fine a year later. Here's what I do. I feel for jammed joints, and I mobilize them with a device because it's faster. When you have increased speed, it decreases the force needed to move an object. As this is happening, it's resetting the circuit breaker, so to say, in the fuse box. It's opening the connection that's been shut down, which is the nerve supply that goes to the muscles in this case, like Reba's, and it reestablishes that nerve supply to the organs too. How does my quad or my pet get hurt? Well, anatomically, their four legs make them a lot more stable than us. Therefore, it's usually an injury. They're either playing, fighting, messing around, having fun, or coming out of anesthesia is a very big deal. That's where they put pets in crates or small places when they're coming out of it, so they don't hurt themselves. They work for us, they play for us, they do sports, they race. They're extreme athletes. We see the compensation from that injury. We really don't usually know how it happens. Which brings me to, what does the untrained eye look for? Most noticeably, the sign would be a limp, although most common would be a behavior change. A little nuance of a difference. Muffin just isn't acting the way she normally acts. Something's just not right. She doesn't want to do what I ask her to do. When in doubt, I say, check it out. That means we send you to the vet to make sure there is no anomalies, pathologies, breaks or fractures, and then we start with what we do once we exclude that stuff. The lab here, Clay, came in hopping. He was diagnosed with hip dysplasia. They were going to give him steroids and surgery. His low back spine, that lumbar spine, gets jammed. It causes the balls on the femur heads, the legs, that ball area to pop outward. He was in pain. He hopped. They don't say, hey, I hurt like the dickens. They show us that they hurt, but they usually just keep on going for us. 2 treatments opened up his joints, and here he is chasing squirrels again. We say Clay has his swagger back. Cold laser is amazing. Butters, the bulldog, had a hematoma. She got on some antibiotics because she did have a ear infection. It was the size of a golf ball. We did this for 3 weeks, a couple times a week. She didn't need the $700 surgery. Being put under anesthesia for an old bulldog or an old dog, healed. I love cold laser for its healing properties, along with its fast relief outcome. It's safe and non-invasive. Lastly, there's a side note here. The joints are not always tender to touch. This is the same for people. They say, well, I'm not sore, I'm not in pain. You can do an MRI on an animal or a person and see a bulging disc and there is no pain. Sometimes it's not tender. Sometimes there's just no feeling at all. My point here is, first things first, go to the vet. We rule out pathology anomaly breaks. The primary focus is to bring your pet's recovery back as quickly as possible. They are number one. Let me wrap this up with a question. When do you want to call your favorite pet chiropractor? When your vet gives you 3 options that you definitely do not want to hear. First, they say prescription is steroids, antidepressants, anti-muscle or muscle relaxers. Oh, and then the second one is the diagnosis is surgery. Thirdly, along with surgery is the lamentable diagnosis. We've done everything that there is to possibly do. This will be time to put little dude or dudette down. Now, with the information you have, you can say, not so fast, think again. Let's call Dr. Jackie.